All right, everybody. Phil from Alternative Wrestling Worlds. Again, here I am with, what's your name, sir?
Gabriel Skye.
And tell us about yourself, Gabriel.
I am the remarkable wrestling heavyweight champion, the current BST territory champion, one half of Above the Rest, a part of the expected strong spirit, Long Island's very own.
That is impressive. And who's the other member of Above the Rest?
It's my boy Kiro Kwan, formerly known as Tristan Tai. We're also in the expected together. That's my brother, my best friend. So if you're watching this.
Okay, that is a dangerous combination, and just hearing all these accolades alone, for those of you who've never heard of Gabriel, that alone should tell you that this guy is the real deal. So, how long have you been wrestling for?
This year will make 10 years I've been active in pro wrestling.
And where did you start your training?
I started my training at a school in Port Jefferson, August 2016. Yeah, August 2016. I started with Joe Cassio, if you know who that is. Then I started training with the Grim Reaper out in Jamaica, Queens. And then, unfortunately, started training with Cono.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that he's not exactly, good.
I mean, I wouldn't say that he's not good, We're just not on good terms. We just don't see eye to eye. He helped me a lot in my early career. It took me and Quan under his wing when we really needed to get out there, but people change, times change, and I just got to move on with my life. And I'm trying to get this monkey off my back, and he's still here, but I guess we'll see what the future holds between us, right?
Yeah, would you say it's like a love-hate relationship built on, a certain level of respect?
I wouldn't really say that there's any love there right now. Maybe once upon a time, we held tag gold together. He's one of my mentors in this business, but I wouldn't say that there's exactly a love there right now. We shed a lot of blood over the last few years, and I've made his life hell. I mean, rightfully so, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, listen.
I'm glad that you agree.
You've been in camp now for, 400 days now? Close to 400 days?
The first time I had that championship, I held it for 441 days. Right now, we're approaching 365. I think this week will make 365, whenever you put this out, the first week of March.
Sure.
But, yeah, I mean, we've been through a lot of wars together the last couple of years. And, it's just about being me now. It's not about being chained down to what people think they see me as. It's not about what people want me to be. It's about me being who I am. And unfortunately, Kono's been the person on the receiving end of all the punishment from me. But I wouldn't exactly say there's love there right now.
And who is Gabriel Skye?
I'm the strong spirit, the ace of New York City. Man, I mean, you name it. I've been through a lot of ups and downs in the pro wrestling business, if I really do say so myself, over the last 10 years, but all of those experiences have made me who I am now, whether people label me as a loose cannon or fighting spirit. I am who I am for a reason, and I've been where I've been for a reason. I've done the things that I've done for a reason. I'm a person that genuinely believes that everything happens for a reason. And I've worked my ass off to get here. I've done everything my way. I've taken the path less traveled, but I've worked my ass off. And, I like being that modern day workhorse. I like being the journeyman. I like being the modern day gladiator. I like being the person that is the most in shape in the ring. I like being the person that is the most well prepared, mentally, physically, spiritually. That's the kind of person that I am, and that's the kind of work that I put into what I do.
So, I've been following you for quite a bit now. It's no secret to anybody that follows indie wrestling, even like a little bit, that you are one of the top independent wrestlers like in the country right now.
I appreciate that.
You're definitely the best in New York. You can argue that you're the best in the Northeast region. You pop up in promotions all over New York, New Jersey, as well as what were you in Limitless recently? I was about to say that, but I didn't want to be mistaken.
Yeah, so the last time I made an appearance in Limitless Wrestling was about 1 year ago.
Okay.
I was in the Fatal Four Way with Conan Lycan, T.J. Crawford, and Brett Ryan Gosling, and I actually broke my nose in that match.
Ugh.
But before that, I mean, man, myself and Quan had a long history of being the tag team aces over at Limitless Wrestling, and we had plenty of wars with MSP, with the Workhorsemen, with the Unit, with Ricky Smokes and Aaron Rourke, the Shook Crew. I mean, man, we ran roughshod through the entire tag division over there. Some people would say that we were the uncrowned tag team champions over there.
And these are all big names right here. You guys had you and Quan have definitely been one of the best independent tag teams over the last few years, regardless if you're tagging consistently or not. Anybody sees a name above the rest, they know they're in for a rude awakening. As a fan, they know they're in for a great performance. Now you were saying you did everything your way to get where you are today. You started off, your first day of training, just coming in as a fan, with a passion of trying to do something with wrestling. Like thousands of people train. I feel like most of them, if they do make it on a show, they last maybe like a year or two. Whether it's because they realize it's not for them, they can't embrace the grind, or whatever reason that is. What was your mindset that allowed you to separate yourself from the vast majority of people that come to wrestling school?
I didn't have a plan B. I didn't have a plan B. This was, I mean, my entire life, I had a good idea of when I get older, when I leave school or whenever, that this was going to be the thing that I do with my life. And I'm a firm believer in once you make that commitment, you can't half-ass that. So I knew from doing sports in school, being in a locker room, going to the gym, having respect for myself and the people around me, I knew that I had to take this seriously and that there wasn't any other option. It wasn't about, okay, let me have a match and then once I'm done, I'll show this to my friends and family and hopefully they'll be proud of me. For me, even at 12 years old, my thought was, I want to make this a career. I want to be a professional wrestler. I want to be the best in the locker room. I want to be the best in any promotion that I walk into. I want to be, hopefully the best in the world, But, yeah, I mean, from day one, I just had the mindset of when I come in here, everything else that's going on in my life, everything else that happens outside these doors, that does not matter. The only thing that matters is what's going on in here. So the mentors that I had at that time, the people that I was surrounded by in the wrestling school, I listened and I kept my mouth shut and I just kept my ears open to what was being taught, because that's the best way to approach this is okay, if you're going to take this seriously, I'm going to take my notes, I'm going to listen, I'm going to work my ass off, and when I go home, I'm going to study. I'm going to study my favorites. I'm going to study the people that inspired me. I'm going to study what made the greats great, what made these people that are known to be the best or legends or, whatever people say, what made them that way and how can I apply it to myself. I've just always taken it seriously, man. And like you said, it wasn't about wrestling for a year or two. Okay, I think I got to slow it down. It was about going far with it, and it still is. It's not over. We're still far from over. I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I'm 27 years old. I started when I was 17 years old. I just graduated high school, and yeah, man. I mean, even through all those years of being in school, doing track and field, and wrestling at that time, I knew that I was training myself for a purpose. It wasn't just about like, I wasn't too concerned about like being the best on the track team. I wasn't too concerned about being the best on the wrestling team. I was like, okay, even if I fail at this right now, whatever I learn, I'm going to apply it one day in my profession. I'm going to apply it in the ring. I'm going to apply it to the lessons that I'm learning, over here in this class and in this class. And then just about being in the gym too, like taking it seriously, like I think the moment that you decide that you want to be a professional wrestler, that's when your mind should switch and be like, okay, I have to take this seriously. And I understand everybody has different goals, but if you want to get far with this and you actually take this seriously, you should be doing the things to be in the gym on a daily basis, eat right, study wrestling. Like, even if you're sick of it, you have to continue going. You have to just continue to dig deep. So that was always my mindset, was just take this seriously and just don't BS it,
So when you started training at like a young age at 17, obviously you're still in shape from all the sports you were doing in high school. I would imagine that played like a critical role in like your initial training to help accelerate like your training for you to actually make your professional debut sooner than most. Like, would you say that's like accurate? Like, how long would you say you trained for before you had like your first match?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. I started training August 2016, and I had my first match October 2016. But it was
Wow.
not planned that way. It wasn't planned that way. I wrestled under a mask in my first match. That was also because like they needed somebody that was athletic, that could fly a little bit, that like even if I only knew a little bit of the basics, we need somebody that can perform and that has like a little bit of confidence to them. And I mean, I pretty much just volunteered myself, like, hey, I'll be at the show on Saturday, like I'll come and set up. And then I got asked the morning of that show, like, hey, like, can you wrestle later? And you'll be under a mask. And I was like, yeah. And I think having my first match and being under a mask also kind of helped me with the confidence too, of like, these people don't know who I am. They don't know anything about me. My face won't be attached to this. This will be a story for me years and years from now. So I just approach it that way, where it's like, okay, like this is a test for me though. Like this is my first match, but also this is me learning to perform in front of a crowd. This is me understanding what it takes to be in a ring in front of a live audience, in front of cameras rolling, in front of, a situation with pressure to it. So yeah, I mean, when I look back at it, if I watch that match now, I probably wasn't ready. But in my mind at that time, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna do this, and there's no turning back.
I mean, after like 3 or 4 months of training, like even like the basics aren't like down yet. So for you to like, have that opportunity, regardless if they needed somebody extra, the fact that they picked you when they could have picked anyone else does like show the ability and the way you were able to. I'm sorry, and the speed you were learning at. So even if you feel that you weren't ready, someone else did.
Yeah, and I really do deeply appreciate that somebody took a chance on me so early on, But again, I think I credit that to not just learning physically and doing the things in the ring that I needed to do. It was also just about approaching these people with respect. I understood at that time that people looked at me as this kid or this teenager, like, oh, what is he doing here? Um, you know, not really fully taking me seriously yet, but every person that I met and approached, especially at that young age, like I just talked to them like a regular person, like a normal human being, like kind of like how we're talking here now, like just talk to them like professional and adult, and just had the maturity in my mind of like, okay, like I have to show that I'm taking this seriously, even if they think I'm just some kid, like one day this is gonna reflect. So it's just also just about common courtesy and just professionalism. Keep it professional.
One
So
thousand
yeah.
percent. And like even at the young age, like especially today, is irrelevant. There's so much talent out right now that's under the age of 21,
Mm-hmm.
and you would think that they've been doing this for like 20 years, because people are starting now as like 14, 15, 16, and like they're advanced at such like a rapid rate. So it's not just like the age, it's the professionalism, the dedication, like the willingness to listen. You know, there's like a big name out right now that everyone's talking about is Leon Slater. He's 21. The guy's been wrestling I think since he was what like 15. At 19 he was in
Yeah,
like the top.
I think even younger. I think even younger. He started when he was way younger. And
Really?
yeah. We were on a few shows together, and I mean, every time, I mean, it was just always a show stealing performance from him. But yeah, I mean, that success doesn't happen for just any reason. Like, same thing. And I'm sure he'll tell people like he worked his ass off to get the opportunities that he's getting now. And again, like, that's somebody that is pushing the envelope for this generation now. For
Yeah.
people like that, for the younger generation, for people that have been hungry and starving for this. Like, so it really is, even for me, it's inspiring to see that, you know?
Well, have the discipline, like to be able to train at like a young age, like 15, 14, 13, 12, is absolutely like insane because when you're that, most people who are that age really aren't like, disciplined. Like they want to like go like hang out with friends, play video games, or whatever. To like have that mindset of a professional, like this is my career, this is my livelihood. Yeah, I'm, 15, 13, 14, 15, whatever. I'm not going to act like that. I'm going to act like a grown ass man.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you had that same mindset at 17. Me at 17, there's no way I would have had that mindset. Like, so it takes like a certain like special type of person to like, approach something like that.
I appreciate that.
Now, like after like your first match, like how like when was your second match? Like how long did you have to wait like in between? Did it just like come like quickly since you were able to perform successfully in the first match, or did you like have to continue training like for months on before you got another opportunity?
Yeah, so the first match did go pretty well, and I remember being super excited after that, just over the moon about how the match went and how the night went and the show and everything. But again, it was an unofficial debut for me, at least in my mind. You know,
Sure.
I was under a mask and a different name, so it wasn't right off the bat Gabe Skye hitting the ground running. It was about like another 3 months, I want to say, before I really debuted officially as myself. So that was October. I had my next match in like January in a Rumble, and then that is when I started to finally start to get my feet wet with matches and with bookings. Like from there, I had that match that January, and then I trained again for another 3 months because I wasn't rushing to go and expose myself to all these promotions where I might fail. To me, it was like, okay, I did good here. Let's go back to the workshop and train more and pick more people's brains on what I should do, how I should get better. And then the next match, okay, now I know what to work on. Now I've watched myself on tape. Maybe that doesn't look so good. Maybe I should work on this. After that was like another 3 months of training. And then after that, it was just like, had that match, and then 2 weeks later I was wrestling again. And then 2 weeks later I was wrestling again. And then slowly that morphed into, oh wow, I'm wrestling a lot more. Like I'm getting more opportunities, and I'm working with better and better professionals in my area. So it wasn't all immediate, but it was definitely a process. But like I preferred that. I wanted that because I didn't want to just be thrust into a situation where, something dangerous could happen to me, or somebody could take advantage of me, or something could just go wrong, So I did have a lot of patience early on in those days. No matter how hungry I was just like, okay, let me approach this with some, you know, again, with just some professionalism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what was the name under the mask though? I gotta ask.
The name was Silver Potato.
Get out.
Silver Potato. Yeah, I
No.
wrestled for Kaiju Big Battle. And,
Silver Potato?
Silver Potato.
If I go on cagematch.net and look up your profile, it's gonna say Silver Potato under Gabe Skye.
Well, I will say this, and I have a bone to pick with Cage Match because it's not 100% accurate.
I agree, 100%.
100% accurate. And Silver Potato isn't listed on there because in the Kaiju Big Battle promotion, multiple people have performed Silver Potato. So I was just one of the people that got to be under the hood that night. But on my Cage Match, the first match that they've listed on there is not my actual first match. I have actually a detailed accord of every single match I've ever had. from the date, the opponent, the location. Like I have all of that listed. So yeah, some of it is accurate, but most of it is still like there's
No.
information that's missing from there
Like,
for a lot of people. Yeah.
I'll look up like certain like wrestlers, like names I'm just like hearing about or just beginning to get into,
Yeah.
just to see what promotions like they worked for, like the matches, who they worked against,
Yeah.
and so many of them, even like well known names, you can just tell is incomplete, because I'll look at it, see somebody with 6 years of experience in 90 matches. There's no way in hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I feel like you're getting like active like bookings, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just coming at this from like a fan's perspective with like no like inside knowledge. If you've been wrestling for 6 years and you only have done 90 matches, you're not hustling whatsoever, and you're not a name at that point.
I would agree. I would agree, and I do think sometimes there's a case by case basis for some people, because some people are just gifted and they don't have the hundreds of matches that some of us do in 1 year. But yeah, no, I would agree for the most part. I think if you're a young wrestler, especially, and you're not doing all that you can to get yourself booked and to improve, then you're not giving it your all. You're just not. You should be in the ring multiple times a week. You should be going to a school or a facility where you can get better in the ring, where you can learn from people around you, where you can learn from your peers, you can learn from people that can mentor you and help you, if you have those people around you. Because again, like, you got to be careful of who you trust in any business, not just in the wrestling business, but the same can be said for the music business, and the same can be said for film, but you just got to find those people that are like-minded, that will help lift you up, and those people that are motivated too, because it's not just about, okay, I spent 2 hours in the ring today, I can go home and slack off and sleep all day and not work out for the rest of the week. No, like those are not the people that are gonna make it far. Those are not the people that are gonna motivate you. Like that's kind of how me and Quan ended up becoming friends. Like, we didn't know each other outside of the wrestling business at all. We both just so happened to be at the same class that Cono was running, and I think we kind of just noticed, like, oh, like, that guy kind of moves like me. Like, oh, he's athletic. Oh, he can do this. To where it's like we're working with each other in the ring after, being like, yo, like, I really like what you do out there. Oh, I really like what you do too. And then you just start naturally becoming friends with these people. So our bond was wrestling at first, but now, I mean, man, like, that's my brother. So our bond now runs deeper than just being in a ring. Like, now I'm an uncle to his child. You know what I mean? I've been over his house. He's been over my house. We've spent time with each other's families. Like, that's somebody that I can confidently say, like, if this ended tomorrow, I know that we both have a presence in each other's lives. But again, like, that's just an example too, right? Like,
But finding somebody like that though, like who is like minded and has like your work ethic, and that will push you.
Yeah.
They say if you want to get better at something, work with somebody who's better than you.
That's 100% true. 100% true. And especially if you're both in the game where these are my goals, what are your goals? Oh, okay, so we both have similar goals. We both have similar mindsets for wrestling. You can wrestle that person out on the road. You're on shows together. You're traveling from this show to that show. Hey, I came with this guy. Can we wrestle each other? Or, hey, like, this guy's really good. Or, do you have any opportunities for him? And again, like, to also speak up for yourself too, but it also just helps showing face, and we both just definitely done that for each other, where it's like, I know how good you are, and vice versa. Like, let's help each other out. And then again, like, that's just how our tag team started. We had no plans to tag at all. I think we were both very focused on having our solo careers and having our own goals, but our goals aligned. For it was like, man, this can work out as a tag team. Like, why don't we approach this as a tag mentality? And then little by little, you start to see the opportunities flourish. And then again, still that's still going strong. I'm proud of everything that he's done. He's been killing it all over the world, and
he's doing great at MLW.
Yeah. I mean, man, like,
that's a great opportunity right there.
Yeah, he's gotten very far, man, and like, again, like, the story of Above the Rest, the Expected, and all that, like, it's it's still far from over, you know, like we're still just in the first decade of our careers, and like we can continue to do this for a long time, especially in the modern day of this business. Like anything is possible.
Oh,
So yeah.
100%. Like everyone's careers are just lasting longer, like, due to the way, guys are taking care of like their bodies. Like, which is like, insane because the work rate today and the moves that are done at the impact is way different than it was 30 years ago. And the guys were not taking care of their bodies like well back then. But like, I watch like some stuff, like I see like how people like, land or whatever, and I'm just like, how are you like gonna how are you getting up from that and still like continuing the match? How are you on TV like the following week like wrestling again? Like it's unbelievable like what you guys put your bodies through, and what people don't realize, it's not just like on a show to show basis. Like you guys are like training, throughout the week. Like for yourself at this stage in your career, like how many times a week would you say like you're training in the ring?
At least like coming here, being here for long hours, 2 to 3 times a week. There's times where I'm here until like midnight or like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're just training, you know. But that's how it should be. And again, some days it's 3 days in a row, or some days it's a day on, a day off, a day on, a day off. You know, it's just about what you put into it, man. Like I'm definitely a firm believer of like you get out of this business what you put into it, right? And sometimes again, like you can put a lot into this and not get what you want right away, but that also comes with hustling and patience and genuinely working your ass off, and not just about like, oh man, I didn't get it so I should give up, or like, I didn't get the goal that I wanted to get to this year, like I should just quit. It's like,
No,
no, you
absolutely
shouldn't,
not.
because like if you got far, you got far for a reason. If you got the opportunities that you've gotten, it's because you got them for a reason, and not just because anybody can get them. Because if they could put anybody else in your shoes, they would have picked up the the average Joe off the street and just put him in a pair of boots, and then here you go. You know, no, it's about working your ass off genuinely to do it, and not giving up, because you don't know. Like it's um it all ends if you just stop. You never know what's gonna happen
1000%.
if you just keep going. But if you stop, then yeah, then it's over. So yeah.
And most guys like they all do like the same moves or similar moves. So it's like, if you're giving up and you're not like pushing yourself, why is somebody gonna like take interest in you when there's somebody who's like grinding harder that can do the same stuff as you, but better because they are grinding harder. And as far as not like achieving your goal, just because you don't achieve a goal does not mean you failed. Here's the difference between failure and success. If you don't achieve a goal, it doesn't mean you failed. It means that you're learning so you can succeed. The only way you fail to achieve a goal is if you stop trying to achieve that goal.
I would agree with you. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you failed. It's just about picking yourself back up and just keep going. You know.
You want to set a goal that realistically is attainable but challenging, because that's what pushes you.
Yeah, you just gotta challenge yourself, man. Just try to continually raise the bar, no matter what area that is. And again, like that's something that doesn't even just go for wrestling. Like that can go for life. That can go for being in the gym. That can go for the job that you hate. You know. Like, yeah.
Now, as a student of the game, like you've said numerous times that you're constantly studying wrestling. Now, I watch like constantly, but tell me the difference like from studying as a professional versus watching as a fan, because I'm sure like you have like different experiences like when you're watching, depending on what you're watching it for. I'm sure like okay, I need to study film. I'm gonna put on like this match. Like what goes into that? Like what is like your mindset when you're watching it versus as, okay, I'm watching as a fan. I just want to be entertained.
For me personally, when I'm studying something, I like to watch just different things. I mean, it really all depends on the matches too, but I like to watch how things are paced. I like to watch footwork, especially. I like to watch the technique of different wrestlers. Just gaining inspiration from that, right? that kind of stuff I think is really important, especially as athletes and professionals. Like again, like this is dramatic and it's show business, but it's also about being an athlete. You know, it's no different than basketball, football, baseball, like all that different kind of stuff. Um, just about taking it seriously.
Excuse
Uh,
me.
but yeah. When I watch matches, that's the kind of stuff that I like to watch. You know, just like technique, rhythm, all that kind of stuff. Stuff that I can apply to myself too.
Who do you like studying the most?
I'm very inspired by Eddie Guerrero.
Mm.
Very inspired by Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero is definitely one
Yeah.
of the best to study, especially since you actually do have like a similar style to him with like like as a cruiserweight,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
and Eddie Guerrero, like if you like follow his career from when he first started in Mexico, I believe it was like the late 80s, going to New Japan when he was what was his name in New Japan?
Black Tiger.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Black Tiger.
Yeah.
Going to ECW, WCW,
Uh-huh.
WWE, back to Indies, back to WWE. There's all these. They're all like different versions of him. Like he allowed himself to evolve so much, and that's just from studying
Yeah.
and seeing like what's working and trying different things.
100%. 100%. You see the evolution. You see how similar they are late in their career versus early in their career. You know, you can watch early Eddie matches and see early Eddie in late Eddie's work. You know, that's stuff that I'm really inspired by. You know, people like Eddie Guerrero, uh, people like Brian Danielson, people like Hayabusa.
Oh, I
Um,
loved Hayabusa as a
yeah,
kid. The first time I
yeah,
saw him when he was doing ECW, and I saw the Phoenix Splash, I was like, "What the hell did I just see?"
yeah, man, it's
Like that was
inspiring.
that was like the wildest thing. Like the closest I've seen to Hayabusa since Hayabusa, and it's a shame his career got cut short, is Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay, yeah,
Will
again, like
Ospreay is like what Hayabusa would be had he come around to that.
incredible professional wrestler. And same thing, like somebody that takes this seriously and like you can see it in all of his work. Somebody that started so young that has gotten so far at this point in their life. You know, like people like that inspires me because it's like, man, like the journey isn't over at a certain point. You just got to keep going and then continue to get in better shape. Like those people that we just talked about, like all those guys evolved. You can see the evolution of somebody like a Brian Danielson in 2006 versus how he was in 2024, and the same thing with Osprey and God rest his soul, Hayabusa. Yeah, man, those people inspire me. Like those are wrestling styles that show that it's not just about one thing. Those guys all did everything. I mean, really, like they were um, a master of their craft. So that's something that really does inspire me.
It's funny you mentioned Brian Danielson. That man had three different Hall of Fame careers, which is absurd when you think about it. The first being when he was in Ring of Honor, when you could have made a strong case that like he was the best professional wrestler in the entire world. There was very few put up against him. Then he goes to WWE, has a Hall of Fame career there once the Yes movement started, the big moment at WrestleMania, like all the big feuds he had. Then unfortunately he had to retire due to injury, but then came back and had another Hall of Fame career, especially when he came to AEW and just completely reinvented himself to where he was like a hybrid of Ring of Honor Brian Danielson, WWE Brian Danielson, and then with his own twist as AEW Brian Danielson. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. And his in ring work in AEW, you could argue that was better than his Ring of Honor work. And his Ring of Honor work was like something that like people have never like seen before. Like you can go back and watch his matches from like ROH back in like as early as 2002, and it still holds up today.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And again, like that's somebody who's a student of the game, and you can study his professionalism and his wrestling. You can always pull something positive away from his matches. You can always learn something just from watching old tape. Again, watching something from 2002, you can see the evolution of the style from that genre back then to now. it's amazing, man. So yeah, no, that's the kind of wrestling that I love. You know, people that work hard and you know get it. You know, like that's what drives me.
So, Gabe Skye, you're having an amazing career so far. You're big time right now. What's the rest of 2026 looking like for you, man?
I just want more challenges, man. Like I just want more challenges. I just want to continue to push myself to get better and even further. Just step in the ring with more people that will continue to sharpen my game up and force me to get uncomfortable in areas where I shouldn't feel comfortable. You know, um, the match with Ali is something that I would definitely credit that to.
That was great.
I appreciate it.
I was
Thank
like
you.
I was there for that, and like that match was like the biggest reason why I was hyped for the show. I believe it wasn't booked originally, but then there was like some issues with others like being booked, and he was brought in last second. And the fact that he was able to do that like last second and put on the match that he did with you, more importantly, the way he put you over like afterwards, like you you yourself make yourself out to be a big star, but he put you on another level.
That's that's humbling. That's humbling. And yeah, no, that means a lot to me, man. And that moment definitely meant a lot to me too. Having my family there and friends there, and pretty much being in my hometown, um, having that match with somebody that's that good of a professional wrestler, and not even just a wrestler, but the way he carries himself, like that's somebody that people will continue to study 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Even somebody like me, 10 years ago, that I was watching him, being like, oh man, like this guy is amazing. So having the chance to get in the ring with him was it was definitely a blessing, and again, like, forced me to step my game up.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I don't settle for mediocrity, and I don't settle for being put in the ring with people that will just go for an easy night. I like being there with people that will force me to challenge myself, challenge my mindset, and think about professional wrestling differently. And that's definitely somebody that, again, like,
He's been a workhorse his whole career.
yeah, and his resume speaks for itself, and everything that he's even doing now to this day. He's got a training school of his own as well.
Really?
Yeah, he has a Chicago Wrestling Center.
Okay.
Yeah, Chicago Wrestling Center.
When did that start?
Somewhat recently, I believe, but I've been seeing him post clips and stuff on Instagram, and it's stuff that even here I try to show to the students
Really?
here to try and motivate them, and yeah, man. I mean, again, like, that's somebody that's also giving back to the business in their own way, and like he's doing it genuinely with his own message. He's not just doing it for himself. He's doing it for his culture and his family and the people around him. And like, again, like, that's something that motivates me and like challenges me to think differently about this too.
A lot of people only know Mustafa Ali for his time currently in TNA and Indies, and of course his WWE run. But people forget he was a big indie name in Chicago. Like he was like as Prince Ali.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know that, and he was somebody that people were clamoring for like several years to get signed. So, and I say that because I see that parallel with you, because I feel like with where you are now, your career, you're at the point right now where a major like offer will come. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but I don't see a scenario where you're not signed to a bigger company within the next 3 years, with like the matches you're doing, with the way you're improving, with the way your name has gotten out. Like I can't see a situation where you're not like either in TNA, AEW, WWE, NXT. It just doesn't seem like feasible to me, especially with like how passionate you are, what your work ethic is. A lot of people, they want to be on TV, but they don't have that work ethic, and I feel that some wrestlers, and this is just like like a general like opinion, that they don't realize the depth of talent that is out there. It's not just in this country; it's worldwide. Like WWE isn't just looking in New York, Boston, California, and like every other state in the country. They're looking in Japan. They're looking in England. They're looking in France, Germany, Spain. You name it. AEW, they're doing the same thing. TNA, they're doing the same thing. TNA had man like Darius on their roster a year ago. They have allegedly, rumor is they have Ricky Sosa, who has gone viral recently in France, appearing at the tapings this Saturday. You're not just competing with people in your school or competing with people in your town or regionally. You're competing with people all over the world. So you gotta have that mindset of I'm better than all of you, and I'm gonna show it with my work ethic, and that's something that I feel like you have. I remember the first time I saw a match of yours. Oh, sorry about that. Was like a few years ago during the first Remarkable show. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was against Myron Reed.
So I do know the show that you're talking about.
I think it was Myron Reed. Or did he face Desmond Cole? I'm trying to remember right now.
Yeah, he faced Desmond Cole that night, and I faced ACH.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I knew it was like somebody big, but I remember walking away being more impressed with you than ACH, who was at the time a big independent name and a selling point. And when I saw your match against Mustafa Ali, this is 5 years later, you've grown leaps and bounds, and that's based on your work ethic and dedication that you've been so passionate about, explaining to me.
No, I have a deep appreciation for those words. So thank you for all that. That means a lot to me. Yeah, man. I mean, again, it's just about challenging yourself and just trying to do the best that you can and moving up and just constantly trying to raise the bar, And again, about not giving up just because something doesn't go your way. Whatever your goal is, you just have to keep aiming higher and higher. You never know what can happen. You really can't. And if you stop, that all just goes away like that. So yeah, man, it's just about continuing to raise the bar, just getting better and better and challenging yourself to be better than the person that you were yesterday, than the last match, than you were last week, last month. So
opportunities present themselves when you don't expect it.
It's true. It's very true.
And the only way that happens is if you are working hard. If you're working hard, the opportunities are going to come, and you just gotta trust that process.
Yeah.
You gotta trust yourself.
Yeah.
So you had the big match with Mustafa Ali. What other big matches are in store for Gabe Skye for the rest of the year?
I mean, man, to be honest, your guess is as good as mine, right? I mean, we're still gunning for those ETU Atlantic Tag Team Championships. I'm still looking to defend the Remarkable Heavyweight Championship, whenever that task arises, and the BST Territory Championship. So I've still got titles to defend. I've still got titles that are catching my eye right now.
Such as?
ETU tag.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, man, I wouldn't mind taking a crack at that ETU heavyweight title either.
And for those who aren't familiar with ETU, who's the current heavyweight champ?
Mike Santana. Yeah.
There.
I think that's all we need to know, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Santana, he's another one that has, your mindset. The guy left AEW to bet on himself, even though he was part of a great tag team of Ortiz. A lot of people felt he couldn't do it as a singles wrestler, and since he went to TNA, the man has flourished. He betted on himself because he knew he had what it took when everyone else didn't believe in him.
Yeah, and he's a great inspiration from my background. Growing up as a Puerto Rican kid, that's kind of why Eddie Guerrero resonated for me culturally and for my family and my brothers and all that kind of stuff, because we saw somebody that looked like us and talked like us and talked like people in my family. And then years later, to be in the business, sharing locker rooms with someone like Mike Santana, it's genuinely a huge inspiration to see somebody that's Boricua, that's just killing it everywhere. He's the man. He is. And he's also just proven himself to be one of the best wrestlers in the world in any locker room.
100%.
So, yeah, that's a challenge that I would love to face someday.
Yeah, the guy's a total package. Great look, great promo, can go in the ring. Definitely gets the crowd invested.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's really not much more I can say about him that people can't go and look up. He's genuinely a one of one in the wrestling business.
Absolutely. So, what upcoming matches is on? Do you have coming up?
Well, New Fear City is supposed to be doing our steel cage match soon. That's supposed to be comprised of myself, two fellow Long Islanders as well, Bam Sullivan and Mouse, versus Casanova Valentine, Lucky 13, and Kid Osborne. That should be happening soon. Dates haven't been announced yet, but I know that match had to be rescheduled due to severe snowstorm that happened last week around here.
Right.
Um, yeah, and then we've got Remarkable Wrestling coming up April 24th. I'm looking to defend my championship. We're in Kono's hometown. So maybe I'll whoop his ass again and take out the trash one last time.
And it's his hometown, it's stomping grounds. I mean, what better way to defend it, right?
I mean, what better way to defend it and to retain it and just embarrass him in front of his family again? It's going to be awesome. So if you're there and you like humiliation, come through. Yeah, I'll be in Vegas as well for a couple matches. So that'll be cool. And
Is that WrestleMania weekend?
That is indeed. That is indeed. So that stuff, again.
Can you shed some light on the WrestleMania weekend matches, or they haven't been announced yet?
I'm not at liberty to announce anything right now as of yet.
That's fair enough.
But I think people will definitely be pleasantly surprised with what comes out of it. So just stay tuned for social media and wherever you follow Gabe Skye. Yeah, man, I'm just looking to continue to push myself this year and to continue to rise to the occasion and to just do better and better and aim higher and higher, man. Like, that's really all that we can do, right? Is to just continue to push ourselves and be better than who we were yesterday, So whatever that is, I mean, only God knows what lies ahead for me. But I'm going to continue to approach everything with 110%, 150% of what I can bring to the table.
What's one promotion you want to work for this year that you have not worked for yet?
That's a tough one because at this point in my career, I've worked in all of the top promotions on the independents. On an independent level, I mean, yeah. If I had to share one, I would say, and it's probably going to be a little bit out of left field, but
say it.
I'd like to go down to Zona 23 in Mexico and try my hand at the Junkyard Deathmatch.
That is out of left field. Wait, what's the name of the promotion again?
Zona 23.
I've never even heard of that.
Zona 23. They've done a couple of joint shows with Game Changer Wrestling, and they've gone viral numerous times for how crazy their junkyard matches are. But
I gotta look this up.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely should, man. You might be pleasantly surprised. There's definitely some crazy stuff that be happening over there. But now at this point, with the experience that I've had in deathmatch wrestling and in no-ring death matches, man, I would like to just go down there and just absolutely rip it, especially in Mexico. So
yeah.
that's one promotion that I'll say I haven't been to yet that I would like to get an opportunity at.
Yeah, well, we got to make that happen for you, man.
Let's do it.
One thing I've been really into for the past year is watching the international promotions, just because I'm exposing myself to even more talent and just seeing the differences overseas versus here with with the talent, the crowds, the way things are done. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to check out this promotion you were talking about. Just the junkyard match itself sounds ridiculous.
You will definitely be shocked.
So I'm assuming it's in the realm of a death match, correct?
100%. 100% in the realm of a death match. 100% in the realm of chaos. So
what separates a junkyard match from a traditional death match?
Well, there's no ring, for starters, and the spectators are kind of just placed all over. And again, in the junkyard, there's just a bunch of stuff.
It's in an actual junkyard?
It's in an actual junkyard with
I gotta look this up.
Abandoned or just destroyed cars,
This sounds like something out of a video game.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just like a video game cutscene brought to life. But, there's some crazy people that be doing some crazy stuff over there. And, yeah, man, I'd like to mix it up with some of those guys, some of those people, and just that style, I like the danger of a hardcore match or death match. You know, I like being thrust into that environment because that's what brings the killer instinct out in you. I believe. So to do that, I mean, would be kind of crazy.
Who would you want to face over there?
I've shared a couple locker rooms with him. I don't know if he still works over there. Arrow Boy. I don't know if you're familiar with Arrow Boy, but
I've never even heard of the promotion until now. Like, my knowledge of like the Mexican scene is like very limited to CMLL and Lucha Libre and
yeah,
AAA. I know there's like a couple like smaller promotions I've had like the bigger names. Like I can't remember like who at the moment, but that's something that like I definitely want to like check out. Like I see a lot of stuff like overseas that goes viral, but I've never seen that. Like the craziest thing I've seen like viral is the that promotion in what was it like Africa whatever like it's like
ah,
outside.
yes, yes,
Yeah, it's like soft ground
yeah,
wrestling.
yes,
Like that is something that's completely out of left field. Something that I never expected to see.
dude. I mean,
But
yeah,
they have
let's
like a
go
sick
there too.
following though.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. Their stuff goes crazy. You see it explode like all over social media just because they're doing something that's so different and they're making do with what they have too. So it's awesome.
And that's ultimately what like success is. It's not doing what everyone else is doing. It's doing something different that makes people want to invest in you.
Yeah, 100%. It's just about creating your own lane too. Variety, especially in professional wrestling, or just again like in any artistic endeavor that you're pursuing. It's just about making yourself unique and standing out. I believe again like that's just my opinion, but to me like that's stuff that I think matters. So yeah.
Now, you did say earlier that you do like help train the students here. When what made you decide to start like assisting in that?
I mean, I have been training consistently again for the past 10 years. So when the opportunity arose that this school needed a trainer, um, man, I was more than happy to step up and do that because, again, like for me to kind of pass on what I've learned on the road and in the industry to people that are newer and people that may need the guidance a little bit more. Not even just students that are starting from the ground up, but maybe wrestlers that have been doing this for a while, that they're looking to unlock some keys that they haven't unlocked yet. I'm more than happy to do that and to just also make people better too, because that also helps me to sharpen my game up. So for me to do that for other people, uh, it means a lot to me. And like I genuinely enjoy doing it, like if I didn't enjoy coming here and training people and running classes, why would I even show up? So like I genuinely enjoy coming here and doing the classes and seeing people improve from day one to, you know, 3 months later down the road, and then even further when they're having matches and they're getting out on the road and getting their feet wet in the business. Like that's inspiring to me, and that also shows me like, okay, like I'm I must be doing something right if this person is learning this and doing it the right way, or not even just doing it the right way, but doing it in a way that is different from other people. You know, I enjoy doing that. So yeah, that I get gratification from training people. I really do. So to see that again, like it's humbling, it's inspiring, it's motivating, um, and to see people grow into becoming
Mm.
good wrestlers, like that's awesome. Because I remember what it felt like to finally start to grow and to start to get out there and do all these different things. Like I like that. So yeah.
So when I came in earlier, I was able to observe you teaching for a little bit. I've never seen a training class, so I really don't know what goes into it. But not only did I observe like your patience, but like how you were like explaining everything, like you were going step by step, slowly. When you guys were doing drills, you were letting the students go through the drills, even if like it appeared they have made a mistake. You let them continue until they had to stop. There was one student you were telling me on the side. He just started 2 3 months ago. He was He was struggling. If anyone saw him, you can definitely tell like he's like really new. But then when he But when you stepped in with him and went through the same exact drill, he looked like a totally different person. He looked like he had 10 different training sessions in between within like what, like 3 minutes? Like, so to me, that showed like the natural ability that he has that has to be unlocked. But more importantly, it just showcases your ability as like a trainer, like to come and take somebody that just struggled with like a sequence and looked like for lack of a better word clunky, to make him look effortless performing it all within a short time period is like phenomenal right there.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, again, it's also about being able to work with all different types of people of all different experience levels, and not just adjusting to where they're at, but also bringing them up with you, right? Like what you said about this kid. He just started maybe 2 or 3 months ago, but he's someone that's naturally athletic, and right now he's a sponge. All of this is so new to him that teaching him these things, he's going to retain it because it's so early in his career that he's learning it like, okay, I know I have to work on this, so maybe I should work on this. I know that I have to study this, so maybe I should study this. I have to go to the gym and work on this. So, again, like I remember being that person in the class where I was quiet and just listened to the things that were going on around me so I could observe and really fully understand, like, okay, this is what I should do. Um, yeah, man, it's different, man, and like seeing people learn, it's gratifying, and again, it's humbling. But I like having the classes here where people come in and want to work. I had that talk with them earlier, kind of similar to what we're talking about now. We're like, if we didn't want to be here, we wouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like no one in life is forcing you to do anything. You're here because you want to be here. You're here
100%.
because you want to make something of yourself, whatever it is. If it's for a long time or for a short time, you want to make something of yourself in this business, I believe. So why not give it your maximum effort? Come here and have your mind open, have your ears open, and just be willing to learn. Like that's all I'm really asking for is for you to just come here and be willing to learn and be willing to adjust to the environment around you. No one here is gonna take advantage of you or take a swing at you. When people aren't looking. I mean, at least I hope not. But no, this is a safe environment, especially professional wrestling, and for students and athletes and people that want to get their feet wet. Um, they're safe here. So like having a class of those people where it's like, okay, guys, we're gonna start with this sequence. We're gonna work into this. We're gonna do this. Like that is the process of learning, and like that again is how you build wrestlers, how you build athletes, how you build people that have a genuine passion for this.
Yeah, I don't think fans in general like understand the difficulty of sequences. Myself, like I know it's difficult, but I didn't realize how difficult it was till like I observed like your teachings earlier, just going through like a drill that would last 2 minutes, step by step, and seeing the students like perform it and then going to do it like again and again, and it's not like they it's not like they were going through it with you. They were like observing you, telling them what to do, and they were able to jump in and pull it off with their fellow students with you, and it's just crazy what you guys are like able to do regardless of like the level of experience.
Yeah, and again, like that also just comes with time too. Some people aren't able to just do that off of their first week or first month. Some of that just takes a long time to learn, and it's not just about the sequences of like how fast can you go or how slow you're going here. It's about just being able to be a sponge and learn and to just learn to work. You know what I mean? Like it's in the word professional wrestling,
Yeah.
being a professional and then also wrestling. This is an athletic contest still, so there is Greco-Roman in there, but there also is entertainment in there. There also is a lot of athletic, happenings in that. So it's all around, man. It really is just an all around kind of industry. Even still, I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't learn something new,
One
just
thousand
from watching
percent.
something, just from watching something that I probably have never seen before. Um, you always learn something new. The day that you don't learn anything new is probably the day that you should hang up the boots. So,
I feel like in any industry, nobody knows everything. That you're constantly learning, no matter like how much you know, because as like the years go on, different stuff comes out that you have to learn.
yeah.
So you always have to like humble yourself, no matter how good you are, to know that you don't know everything. There's going to be new things that come out that you have to learn. Now, when students like sign up here, typically I know it varies, based on their learning process, of course. But on average, what would you say is like the time frame from the first day of training to their very first match?
I want to say people should give themselves like a good 6 month window, like 5, 6, 7, 8 months. I mean, it really also is case by case with that kind of thing too, because some people can take a year before they really debut on a show. Man, some people take 2 years in training before they start to really wrestle. Um, but I think like 6 months is about average for a lot of people. It's like a halfway point of a year, you know? So, but again, it's just like case by case too. Some people come in here and within 2 or 3 months, they're wrestling on one of these shows. Or sometimes it takes them a little while longer, and like that's okay too. I'd rather have somebody that is willing to perfect what they're trying in the ring than have someone that's in a rush to be on the next show.
Yeah.
Because if you're not ready, then you're just not ready. And like people will tell you, you need those people around you to kind of bring you back down to earth. But
Well, being ready, like, it's for your safety and for the people you're working with safety, because ultimately, at the end of the day, professional wrestling is all about trust in the ring.
yeah,
You have to trust yourself. You have to trust the people you're in the ring with. You even have to trust, the referees. Like, if there's no trust, if no one can trust you, then you have no business being in the ring yet. Especially if you can't trust yourself. Like, there's no reason to rush into something. Take the time, learn it, practice, get comfortable. Because when you're like in that ring, you're in front of a live crowd. There's really no do over. And you got to go at like a certain speed. Like, you can't just go at like the slow speed as if like you're doing a training class. So and I don't think that like some people realize that like when they're trying to rush the process.
yeah, I would agree. And again, like that goes for everything. Same thing with being in the gym, having proper form, like having proper etiquette, learning to play a new instrument, learning to cook a new meal, like,
Repetition.
yeah, it's just repetition and having patience and like just being open to learn. Like that again, like
1000%.
that's what I like to work with. People that are willing to learn and just being open minded.
Now, for any aspiring pro wrestler, what advice would you give them from the moment they step into a training facility, regardless if it's here or elsewhere? Like, how many times a week should they be training, and for how many hours if their goal is to, let's say, have their first match within that 6 month window?
I think my advice would be don't quit. That'd be the first thing I say is like don't quit. If you really want this and you're really chasing this, don't quit. Don't stop learning. Don't stop aiming to improve. Uh, Someone very early on in my career gave me this advice, and I still carry it with me to this day. Uh, in locker rooms with professionals and people that are talented, um, keep your ears open and keep your mouth shut.
It's from Goodfellas.
Oh, is it? That's my favorite movie. Really? How come I didn't know that? Shit. You just taught me something new. I didn't even catch that in Goodfellas. You know how many times I've watched that movie? Damn. But yeah, no, it's true, man. I mean, yeah, like just come in and have respect for the people around you, and it's an important one.
Wait, is it from Goodfellas, or am I getting confused? Maybe I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know, man.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Go to a reputable professional wrestling school. Go to a school where you know that you're going to learn from the best that this business has to offer, and don't just go to, you know, any random Joe Schmo can just open up a school and put together a ring with ropes on it. But it's about where you go and who you're surrounded with, who you're surrounded by, who you're learning from, who you're picking the brains of. Go to somewhere that's trusted. Come here. Come to Remarkable Wrestling School, in Wisconsin, New York.
If you're on Long Island or near Long Island, you heard it here first. Now, for those who may not have the opportunity to come to Remarkable, if they're looking to start training, what should they look for when finding a reputable school? Like anybody can look up, okay, wrestling school is like near whatever. You go on your website. Like, how can you tell that this is going to be like the right place for me? Just because the school doesn't have to have somebody who's like considered like a top wrestler in the world. It can be somebody that was considered like a good wrestler in the indies, but maybe you never heard of that person. So what goes into like doing your due diligence in selecting a school to learn?
Look for people that are professional, people that look like athletes. And I don't mean this in any kind of derogatory way before anybody takes that out of context or frames it in a certain kind of way.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Look for people that look like professional wrestlers, because their chances, I'm probably not going to take advice from someone that doesn't look that way or take it as seriously. And again, there's all different types of people in this business and different body types and all that kind of stuff, and that's perfectly acceptable. And like, man, I mean, you see all different kinds of people come into this business that succeed looking different. Like that's amazing to me. Again, that's inspiring. But look for people that look like wrestlers. Look for people that look like athletes, because chances are that guy probably has a lot to offer you, not just as a wrestler, but as an athlete, and what to do in the gym and here and there. You know what I mean? Like that. Those are people you can pick the brains of. But even beyond that, I mean, yeah, look for people that are reputable, that are at that school. I think A.R. Fox's school is also a very good example of that. You know what I mean? Like
in
all the
Atlanta,
alumni.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been running it now for like what, like 10, 15 years?
Yeah, he's had that school around for a long time. And then you look at the list of people that have come out of there, the classes.
Austin Theory.
Yeah,
That's the biggest name.
Leon Ruff, I mean, like those are all like professionals that have made it far in this business, and clearly for a reason. I mean, A.R. Fox is, again, like at this point, he's a legend. So, you know, look for people that you can pick the minds of. Look for reputable professionals in the school.
Absolutely. And another thing, too, if the website has like the list of graduates, if you see like names that you recognize, that's a pretty good sign that this is a reputable school.
Yeah.
Because what you see from them, they've learned it somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to ask you just one more question, because I know we've been at this for a while, man. I can go on for hours. I'm sure you can too, but, I think people are beginning to fall asleep here. So, Gabe Skye, for people who have never seen your work before, name 5 matches of yours that they should go and check out.
5. All right. In no order.
Yeah, no order.
Myself and Cono in the dog collar match from Remarkable Wrestling's Better Than the Best in 2025. Myself and Ken Broadway from Cream of the Crop 2 in 2023, 3 Stages of Hell. Myself and Akira Kwan versus Violence is Forever from last year's inaugural tag tournament at ETU.
Really? You guys had a match against Violence is Forever?
Yeah, man.
I gotta look into that one.
We've had a couple of matches with them so far.
They're one of the best teams on the circuit. Like, I'm surprised
100%.
I'm shocked they have not got picked up yet. Like, I've been very vocal on my social media about them being signed to AEW and put on Ring of Honor. Like, once they decided to take Ring of Honor more seriously, which I think they are now since they're doing the studio tapings. Like, Violence is.
They're an amazing tag team, and they're both just like cool guys too. So like it also helps. But
like they're working like DPW was freaking amazing.
Shout out to DPW. Always
I
loved
missed them.
DPW, man.
Missed them already, man. They were like, well, like the last like great like super indie where you just have like nothing but big names, but still like that local talent.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I loved being over there. I have so many fond memories of being on those DPW shows. Um, but yeah, our match with Violence is Forever from last year's ETU tag tournament. I got two more in the tank here. I'll say myself versus Dr. Redacted from Time Bomb Pro in 2021.
Where's Time Bomb Pro? I never heard of that.
So they're based out of like North Dakota area,
That
Minnesota.
is so random. North Dakota. That is random. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Great promotion. Great promotion. Great wrestlers. Great fans. Um, and that was my first death match. Was with Doctor Redacted. That match from 2021. The show was called Violence is Forever.
Really?
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes.
Sentimental
So,
right there.
yeah, yeah. So far we got four, and I got to think of one more.
Here, I'll help you narrow it down.
Yeah.
Name a tag match above the rest versus.
Above the Rest versus the Workhorsemen from Limitless Wrestling, December 2022.
I actually saw that one. That was fantastic. Workhorseman is one of my favorite teams. Also, like JD Drake and Anthony Henry, they kind of reminded me of what Red Dragon was in like Ring of Honor, except like they're more like of a powerhouse of like JD Drake. They have like excellent timing with like their like double team moves, and they just vibe off each other. It's like the perfect contrast.
Yeah, and they're legitimate ass kickers.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, they are legitimate ass kickers.
yeah.
But again,
I wouldn't want to get kicked by Anthony Henry.
No, you don't. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that. I speak from experience. So, yeah, if I had to pick five, those would be my five.
All right, man. I appreciate you talking to me.
Hey, man, thank you so much.
What's your social media handles so people who aren't following you can shoot you a follow and follow your career and know where to watch you next?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm still gonna call it Twitter. Twitter.
I still call it Twitter too, but I'm trying to call it X because I don't want to get called out and whatever.
Only X I know is the expected. Twitter at Gabriel Skye _ SKYE, and same handle on Instagram at Gabriel Skye _ and I used to have Facebook. I don't really use Facebook. There's only two social medias you can really find me at. You can book me at fightgabeskye@gmail.com too. But yeah, those are places that fans can find me. YouTube too, Gabriel Skye. Just search up, or wherever. Subscribe to IWTV. Subscribe to Remarkable Wrestling's YouTube page. Yeah, man, just support independent professional wrestling because this is where the stars of tomorrow are being made today.
And he's not exaggerating. You look at a lot of the top stars in WWE and AEW, they all came from the independents. Without the independents, there would be no WWE and AEW today. They are the lifeblood of professional wrestling. So come out, support your locals, subscribe to streaming services such as IWTV, and just keep supporting. Look into the promotions, follow their pages. Gabe has mentioned ETU several times. Shoot them a follow. They do some great work in New Jersey, and you got Gabe there. I mean, what more can you ask for?
I appreciate that.
No problem, brother. Thank you again, my man.
Thank you so much.